Crypto bonds, what do you think? Do you think we're going to stay in this channel? Do you think we're going to continue sideways? Is it going to be the SEC news that's going to break us out or something else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking that. I hope it stays into that channel right now. There's a lot of things that can influence it to break up or down, and one of those is, I guess, the Fed paused the interest rate hikes, but supposedly, I mean, for now, they paused it. They're saying that the inflation rate has been going down the past 11 months, but I mean, that's just temporary. We could be seeing at least a couple more hikes through this year. So we'll see if when that happens. I think you have to kind of just be on the lookout what the market is doing at that point as soon as you find out, or hopefully, I mean, if you have your resources and you just really pay close attention to the chart, then it's kind of like the precursor, like a little preview of what's to come. And yeah, so that's one thing. A lot of other news. I mean, we can talk about that, I guess, in a minute, about more about the SEC. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the main. But I'm thinking, like, despite with all these other news, that the channel, it's still in that channel, and to me, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me just real quick. I just want to show a comparison here. I'm going to go ahead and lower this time frame to an hour. And if we were to go ahead and take a look as it played out today, starting roughly around now, this is going to be right around Central Time, so Houston time, right around say 7 o'clock Houston time. This is kind of what it looked like. As a comparison, I just want to show you something here. In fact, you know what? I'm going to break this down even further. Let me go 15 minutes. So, starting this morning, right around 7 o'clock, right around here. And I think that this is important for folks to understand.
Mm.
Let me just pull this up here.
Well, it looks like it did bounce today.
It did bounce. It did bounce. But we got this here, and unfortunately, I can only show you one screen at a time. So let me go ahead and pull this other screen up. If you take a look at this is Standard & Poor for today. So traditional market, you see this very same thing. And now this is this morning, right? Came down and it bounced.
Mm.
Why am I bringing this up? Right? Because understand that we are still very much tied with the traditional markets. Not financial advice, but you see volume start to pick up right around the same time volume is picking up in the uh, crypto space, or crypto market. So let me just pull this back up. So keep that in mind. I wish I could do these side by side, but unfortunately I cannot. Right around the same time frame, we started to see the uptick, and then to settle back down. Let me just pull this one back up. Right around the same time, we saw the uptick, and then it's settling it back down. Folks, I just want you to keep in mind, if you're not paying attention to traditional markets, you really should be. This is my recommendation. There is an impact, and it does weigh heavily on the crypto space. So, just my 2 cents.
Mhm.
All right. Let's get into the SEC news, shall we? Because I feel like
Yes.
this is a good one. This is a big one. Over the past 24 hours, let me make sure that you could actually see this. Yes? No? Maybe?
Hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Um, U.S. lawmakers file SEC Stabilization Act to fire Gary Gensler. So, as states here, U.S. capital markets must be protected from a tyrannical chairman, including the current one. That is why I'm introducing legislation to fix the ongoing abuse of power and ensure the protection that is in the best interest of the market for years to come. It's time for real reform and to fire Gary Gensler as chair of SEC.
Wow. That's a quote right there. Direct quote
Man, yeah.
to take him out. That's
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, um, one of the things that Davidson is talking about here, of course, is to make some change within the SEC in order to protect. I feel like he's saying the overall markets. He's not just saying crypto. I think that he is saying overall markets because this guy doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Now, I don't know how true any of that is, but Crypto Bronze, what's your thoughts on this?
it just goes to show that even within the government agencies, yeah, they did disagree, and it's I'm liking it. Uh, you know, there's a picture. I guess Warren Davidson or someone put a little infograph. If I can share that real quick, no sound needed. This is to show the old structure of the SEC. They currently have two or four commissioners and then a chair. And the proposed new structure is six commissioners and one executive director. I don't know if that's the best option, but it's to me it's better, definitely better than the old structure. So this is like what the proposed uh, structure would be on this SEC Stabilization Act. Uh, I want to vote. I want to vote on that if I can.
Well, I mean, I think it's all about getting voting for the right person,
hmm
making sure that they're in, and kind of getting your vote top of mind. Um, I struggle a little bit with the new structure. I struggle with a little bit with the new structure because my concern overall is that as you add more opinions, you have a tendency to slow progress down. Now,
Okay.
that's my take on that. However, I'm not saying that Gary Gensler is doing a great job. I feel like he's very wishy washy. Seems to me like he doesn't have the right advisors as he needs to be able to make that decision, and or maybe he just doesn't have the sense, or he isn't the right guy to be chairman. Um, so I don't
Yeah.
know. You know how it is. The larger the groups become, the more red tape there becomes. Uh,
Yeah. I just
and
wish he just resigns. I just.
well, maybe this will tip that.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll
Yeah.
tip it.
He's feeling the
So
heat. Yeah. Yeah. So many news is going on. They. I. I won't get into it, but like the Hinman files, documents. Hinman is I guess he was part of the SEC at the time, where he talked about Ethereum being a commodity or non-security. Um, they're talking about there's a lot of contradiction, within the agency. It's really no news, but they're just with these Hinman files. That's part of the court with Ripple and the SEC. Uh, there's going to be more answers that will be present, and it will bring closer to the final outcome with the Ripple case. We're hoping we find out soon. I believe that's going to set precedents. It's going to transcend all the way. It's probably going to affect what's going to happen with Coinbase and Binance as well. It's just going to really shake up the whole space. But ultimately, we will get the clarity that everybody's been waiting for, so we can move on.
and that's what we need. We need clarity, and we need to be able to move on. And the indecisiveness of the SEC and the mixed messages and the suspected targeting that is going on needs to end now. So, whether or not we move to propose to act upon that proposal and or if he decides to step down in order to get someone else to try to move this needle, as it were, remains to be seen. But something needs to change, and I suspect we'll see it soon. And that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, yeah. It's just yeah. For right now, it's just going to be sideways for a while. I when you see with that chart with breaking, you think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, like with before August.
I think honestly, it's going to hinge upon what happens with Gary. I suspect that he will step down. He's under a lot of scrutiny, and my take is that as much as he seems to be trying, I don't know at what though. It's like
Yeah,
that needle moves too. It's all over the place.
yeah,
I just I don't know where his aim is, and I think that's the problem. And I think that's exactly what everyone is screaming about. You know,
right,
we said it last week. There needs to be clarity in the space, especially for the top, call it G6, G7. Large nations, the ones that are in control, need to have the clarity. They need to have the control. They need to have some say as to what defines crypto. Now, I'm not saying that that is, and I certainly don't speak for a lot of the folks out there because there's a lot of folks out there that feel like it needs to remain separate. It needs to have zero oversight. There is no way, though, that the U.S. is going to allow that if it were to continue. So, and as I most say, and I agree, it's way too big to fail.
right.
So they're going to jump on board if they haven't already. They've already they didn't just dip their toes in it. They're fully in. But they need to be able to have some control, some clarity, some rules behind it. So it's coming.
Yeah,
Gary, my guess is out by the end of the month. We'll see.
right. We really need to push this, moving forward because the United States is always about innovation, and right now I feel like with the financial space, it's really at a snail's pace, and I feel like we're gonna fall behind with the rest of the world, where the rest of the world are pushing the innovation, adopting new innovations. It should be United States. So, it's that's what we always set the trend, right? And that's why we're always ahead. We're leading the way. But I feel like with this, there's too much red tape, and it's holding us back. And I feel that's really bad. Now let me ask you this, John. With Coinbase, like I really don't, I can't see what the downside is if they go out of the United States, because I feel like it's still, there's they would still be Coinbase unless that U.S. citizens aren't able to access Coinbase. Then that's what I would think is really bad.
Well, okay, and what makes Coinbase appealing is the same reason Robinhood is appealing. It allows the 90%, call it 90%, the normies, right? The ones that have difficulty obtaining crypto, the ones that aren't educated or care to educate, the ones that are afraid of the space. These are the type of platforms that allow them to get into it and still feel a sense of comfort. It's ease of use. It's the Web 2 layer on top of the Web 3, which is what we were trying to achieve with the marketplace. It allows ease of use and something that feels familiar. You lose Coinbase. We've already lost Robinhood. They're pulling out.
What do you,
So
I haven't heard any like much
they're
news.
they're saying that you need to start to uh, convert your crypto into fiat because they're exiting.
They're
Because
exiting out of crypto.
especially the ones that
Wow.
Gary was talking about. And let me see if I can find something on that so that we
Yeah,
can
because
talk a little bit more about it.
I think they only have like what 10 maybe at the uh
Yeah,
10
they
coins
they always were
in
kind
Robinhood.
of lackluster in the space, but
Right.
the normies to kind of
Yeah.
get and play and
Yeah.
but here I'll pull this up right here now so folks know what we're talking about. Let me see if I can
Did you
find
hear about that one about Prometheus? It's an exchange, and they uh, yeah, they were in front of the hearing, kind of basically backing up the SEC, and like no one heard of that exchange before. It's
it. Yeah.
it was funny.
Well, I mean, and there's plenty of exchanges out there, and there are going to be exchanges that come and go. But uh, Robinhood is looking to delist some tokens. Now, this is
Okay.
this is the start, right? And as you said it yourself, you have a Robinhood who has not had too many tokens to begin with, versus a Coinbase, which has a variety, and then also has the wallet attached to it, which allows more functionality if you want to kind of go in the deep end. But, with these centralized exchanges potentially leaving in the States, where does it leave the 90%? Yeah, sure, I can maybe go and get Bitcoin and maybe I can go and get Ethereum at, say, JP Morgan, etc. But where can I get the smaller altcoins, the ones that are hot? I want to go ahead and invest in Pepe. Well, I mean, right? I'm just saying it's difficult for that to happen here in the States.
Bro, okay.
If Binance USA is going away, Robinhood is going away, Coinbase is going away, what options do I have? I'm extremely limited.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because I can only imagine, say, like the regular Binance. Uh, you can't use the regular Binance, only Binance US. If Coinbase goes that route, similar to Binance, where, yeah, okay, I see that now. Because I was thinking, what's the difference? I could,
It's the impact. It's the
yeah,
availability. It's the ease of use.
it's losing the access, like U.S. citizens or people from U.S. unable to access Coinbase.
Yeah,
That would be the worst case scenario.
right.
Um, yeah, and yeah, definitely. I mean, because yeah, say for example, okay, yeah, I can still use Uniswap or whatever, but how am I going to cash out, right? Because normally you would go back to a central exchange and cash out with your traditional bank account. Uh, but yeah, if you have no place to cash out, no central exchange that's legal in the United States, then yeah, we're going to be out of luck. And
Listen, I get it, right? I get it. The central exchanges overall, especially last year, were a mess. But there still is very much a need for central exchanges. We need to have those bridges for the normies, the 90% to get engaged. Uniswap, Pancake Swap, that stuff will never go away. But I wonder, where am I going to be able to buy Ethereum? How am I going to be able to buy Ethereum? And then when I buy Ethereum, can I offload it onto a decentralized exchange if I wanted to? That's great for the 90%. What about the 10%? You know, and again, getting into the Pepes and the Tates and the all of the coins that have come and gone during the meme era of the past 6 months. How did I get into it? I don't know. It's difficult, and that's why we need them. We need the centralized exchanges. But go ahead. What's the problem? If they're securities, then they will list them as securities. I guarantee you, if SEC says these are securities. Coinbase will follow suit, but they need clarity as to what a security is in the space. So,
Oh. Yeah, it all goes back to like the baseball card analogy. I mean, you don't see the SEC. I mean, there's a big whole economy, a big whole trade, a big whole market for all these collector space. And I'm just using the baseball card analogy. I mean, there's I mean, what makes it a difference with the meme coin compared to like a little cardboard box, right? I mean, a little cardboard card made out of cardboard. It's just I don't maybe there'll be a rule like for like as far as crypto. Okay, meme coins aren't bad. You have to go through some series of verification to produce a crypto coin. That's that's what I and you can't be a Joe Schmo. You would have to like register like a corporation, just to, it'll protect, people from overnighters, right? So that's what I hopefully that they're getting through that, right? With the SECs, United States. Okay, this is the rules. If you're gonna make a coin, you have to be registered. You have to be KYC. Social,
yeah.
yada yada yada. Just like anything when you register to be a business, right? Uh, so I would even feel comfortable because yeah, I mean, to be honest, I got wrecked by some of these degen coins. Uh, but yeah, if they find a way to somehow you register a project to make sure they're legit. Uh, yeah, I'm thinking that's what they're doing. Like, I'm hoping that's what they're doing. It seems like they're not doing it though.
Well,
They can't get they can't get the definition right. They can't get the language right. They're not on the same page.
I think that it's like when you take a look at the stock market, right? And you equate it to the crypto projects to companies that are out on the exchange. So there are going to be companies, it's inevitable, and even over time, right? Companies that are going to succeed, companies that are going to fail, companies that are going to become generational and fail, companies that are going to be generational and be around for, well, ever. But I think that if you take a look at that and the model's already there, and clearly the crypto space is mimicking it, uh, and the in its current state, we need to have that clarity. The fact that we don't have it 10 years plus in seems almost insane. I obviously it seems like, well, we know what it is. Initially, they didn't or never thought that it was going to take off. They never took it seriously until maybe say the past 3 4 years when you started to have institutions coming in and then countries and then it became too big to fail, but it also became unstoppable, became that unstoppable juggernaut. And that's the current state that we're in. They can't stop it, so you can't beat it, join them. And that's what's happening. But the thing is, especially what you heard over the past week with Russia kind of saying opening up their central banks and the banking systems overall and offering Bitcoin and Ethereum is just another step for another country saying we see the legitimacy of it. Now they have other reasons. And of course, everyone here in the States is going to say, well, yeah, they must have it. They need to have it because of sanctions, because of the sanctions that they're being opposed with everything that's going in Ukraine. It's just villainizing the crypto space like they've always had. The narrative had not changed, only the players. And I think that everyone's kind of out for themselves. The U.S. is no different. We are going to make sure we're going to protect our own interests and get us to where we need to be within this space. We talked about it in the past several times. A digitalized currency is coming. It's probably already there. They're
Yeah.
just trying to find the right timing and the right reason to implement it. So we'll see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Oh man,
And that's my 2 cents there,
yeah.
brother.
I would say like within within the next 3 years, things should be really solidified. Things should be there. There will be clarity. That's where what my prediction is. We got to give it 3 years. I remember it was 2019 when the SEC sued Ripple, and yeah, it's 3 years now. So, and we're heading at the end of we're at the end of the road for that, and
Yeah.
so it's get ready, guys. So
Bureaucracy. And that's what it boils down to. And that's what I have. That's the only problem that I have with that proposal. The more players that you put in there and the more oversight, it's, I don't know, it's more of the same. More of the
yeah,
same what we're used to here in the States. So,
yeah. I was looking at that. It's the same, but you're just adding more.
you're adding more.
You know, three more
Yeah.
on each side.
Yeah. Now, I understand the reasoning, right? You don't want one individual preventing something. But the fact of the matter is, it's one individual over one small subsection of who's creating laws in certain areas, right? And when you take a look at all of the laws that could potentially impact our space, it's not just the SEC, but it's the one that everyone's currently focused in on. Let's get clarity on that. Let's move on to all the other important areas that we need to focus in on, right? And it gets us more towards that digitalized currency that we all need to be a little bit more efficient in almost everything that we do. I don't know. I feel like it has to happen, but let's get Gary out. What do you say?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll bet you $1. Gary is out by the end of the month. You want to make that
Whew,
bet?
oh man.
Man, one whole
Yes.
physical dollar
Yeah.
there, brother.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here. $1 by July 1st.
Man.
Okay, we shall see.
Before 4th of July.
There it
That's
is.
man.
Boom. All
Boom.
right. Well, Crypto Bronze, what do you say? You want to wrap things up? Anything else you want to say to these fine folks?
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for all this the new subscribers. If you're watching this, if you're new, give us subscribe. Subscribe to us and give us a like.
Yeah. And if any of you guys want to join us, come on up.
Yeah, let
Water's
us know.
fine. Feels good. But let us know. We're always welcome to have some guests on here. But if not, that's all right. We don't mind jabbering along. But well, Bronze, thank you to everyone out there, and guys, we'll be right back. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.